All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, of course, to the Debonairs Pizza Series, where today we have a very, very special match that is about to take place. It's Crypto Gaming taking on Energy Esports in the losers bracket semi-final, and I'm joined by the delightful Shani Zede. Welcome to the stream, Shani.
Thank you so much for having me, Nick. Jeez, like it's been a minute since I started casting, and you were like, Shani, we should cast together sometime. That moment is now.
It's finally happening, Shani, after so long, and I know we were actually chatting about it last when we were in Durban a couple of weeks back, and I can't wait to get this one going. Of course, it is going to be Energy Esports taking on Crypto, a big game in its own right, but maybe let's just take a look at Crypto, and there's a couple of highlighted players that you wanted to talk about, or at least you also mentioned in the article.
Absolutely. So just to jump straight into it, of course, Crypto, if you're not familiar with the roster, that'll be Inception, Eros, Levkop, Lowski, and then Zenko. So a newer scene, like I mentioned in the article earlier in the week, is that they're a newer scene given that they were around for a while. I want to say the last time they really competed was IW. They were in the grand finals at EGE once upon a time. Also against Energy, ironically enough, but that was an entirely different roster, and then they went away for a while. I didn't see too much of them during the World War II season, and then obviously they've come back now, and this is the roster that they've formed. So Inception, of course, Eros has a little bit. You also mentioned that he is one of the older faces coming from
Absolutely
the COD community. But then my player to watch from this roster, as much as they are all exceptionally talented, of course, was Lowski. Now, I'm super excited to see how they managed to take on the Giants of Energy. I actually had a little bit of a chat earlier with Oliver, and he said that, you know what, the team is feeling really good, and we know what they're capable of, or that they know what themselves are capable of. And then they did say that they've been having some really good practice recently against BVD, which of course one of the teams that will be taking part a little bit later. They also said, Ollie just commented saying that they have sorted out some issues and that they're not underestimating Energy. They are aware that they are a monster of a team, and that their entire approach to this matchup, specifically now against Energy, is going to be to just play the game, jump into the series, and just play the way they know how to play.
Well, just chatting about the two teams, I think the biggest thing is they might be able to monopolize here on Energy Esports. Kind of lack of practice, I want to say, in the weeks coming up to this. I know that they've kind of been taking their foot off the pedal, and that's put them in a precarious situation. To be honest, looking all the way into the losers bracket is not a position that I'm used to seeing Energy Esports. So taking a look at their lineup, we've got, of course, Sharky, Frosty, Heroes, Mickey, and Waffle. Shani, from your side, anybody standing out for you in that lineup?
Well, ironically enough, given that this team they're newer in that there have been some recent roster changes. Of course, the move to 5v5 did upset a little bit of a previous Energy. I almost want to call it a dynasty, although it wasn't necessarily a dynasty, of course, coming all the way back from Team Adept days, moving into that powerhouse that Energy is like related themselves to over the past couple of years with COD. Of course, we do want to have a look at Frosty. He's been playing for ever and a half from the time of it. He's now 18. I remember watching him to start play when he was 13. And then, of course, we're going to have a look at Heroes. He does rock that support AR role, but he is still exceptionally deathly in that role. But then once you did mention having dropped to the losers bracket, they did unfortunately take the 1-3 loss against White Rabbits, and that's why they found themselves here in the losers bracket. They did manage to 3-1 Ventus, leading to this semi-final taking place here now. But I don't know, you comment on how they did say that they haven't really been practicing. That was, of course, over the past couple of weeks. But then having a chat to Heroes today again, because obviously they've just come off of a 3-0 sweep, unfortunately losing in a different grand final in a different series, and that was of course against Bravado. And I did chat to Heroes and be like, listen, what's up, what's going on, any new comments that you want to give me going into this next game? He's like, no, we feel we're going to be a completely different team, and that they're super hungry to show that they belong on top. So I feel like that 0-3 loss, now that it's just happened in the last week or so, has definitely humbled them, I want to feel, and made them realize that, okay, maybe we should start putting in the grind a little bit. We're not just going to get by with talent alone.
100%.
So excited that that's going to be the comment coming from them.
Well, I'm excited to see, let's call it an energized Energy Esports in this next one. But just going through, as votes are actually going to be closing, we asked the public a little bit earlier in the week, who do you think out of the top 4 is going to be taking the title? Of course, a correct vote will put you in the draw for what is essentially 2,000 Rand, I believe, in cash prize, as well as 500 Rand in pizza vouchers. And I've got to be said, if you're going to be one of those people that wins one of those pizza vouchers, Shani, you gave me a fantastic tip with the donuts, of all things, from Debonairs. And I was pretty stoked with those donuts. They come heated up with a little chocolate dipping sauce. But once again, before I revert my attention to food, you can clearly tell my stomach is probably grumbling at the moment. The voting percentages, 53% going in favor of Bravado Gaming, 19% going in favor of Energy Esports, 10% to Crypto Gaming, which are clearly the underdogs in this one, and White Rabbit Gaming, despite being in the winners bracket, they are behind in terms of percentage being picked from the public with 17%.
That's actually really shocking, because obviously once I cast my votes, I was no longer able to see the I don't know if it was just potentially when the website had a little bit of a wobble, but I am clicking through there now. Of course, Bravado, you're expecting to see that, right? They are not only the fan favorites, they do have some of the most profiled players in South African Call of Duty as well. I mean, those are the names that you go to for interviews. Of course, you do have Frosty on the other side from Energy Esports, and has also done a lot of media time back in the day. But I'm surprised to see that even though White Rabbits managed to knock Energy down into the losers bracket, that they've come back kind of right at the very end. I mean, yes, Crypto are not necessarily the most known team with the biggest reputation out there. White Rabbit, they've had their moment in the sun in the past. They did perform really well once again back in that IW season, where they actually knocked BVD out. I want to say 5th or 6th place. So they have come obviously a long way since then. Roster has gone through a complete kind of remake, and I do know that they have Aiden at the helm there, Zero, who is the coach, who is very instrumental in trying to see who's going to play well together. So I'm a little bit shocked, not shocked is the wrong word, but I'm a little bit taken aback that, you know what, all of these teams do deserve obviously to be in the positions that they are today, getting to play for the money. But in the same breath, White Rabbit have some all-star players that have a lot of championships behind their names.
White Rabbit Gaming, to be honest, is one of those teams that I believe have fluctuated in terms of the Call of Duty scene. They've been up, they've been down, and they've got an opportunity right now to cause an upset against Bravado Gaming. Of course, that is the winners bracket final, and first up we have the losers bracket semi-final to come up. So we're just waiting for things to kick off. Unfortunately, the Call of Duty gremlins, as they always are plaguing us with a couple of issues with players just getting in. So it looks like we've almost got everybody sorted, but I do need to move you across as well to the Codcaster side of things, and it's not letting me. So I'm going to have a little bit of look at the settings on my side. But yeah. So White Rabbit Gaming, I think, to be honest, they've got a huge opportunity. Should they move through to essentially the grand final, Bravado Gaming have to come out strong. But a lot of people, I've been chatting to the community, and they've been saying that Bravado Gaming should come up with a clean sweep. I'm not too sure if I can get your take on that, Shani.
I also mentioned this in the article and the interview that you did do with myself and Delray, moving into what are our predictions and who are we expecting to take it. Now, in the article, of course, I did say that every single team does have a fair chance of taking this. It all comes down to who is most prepared on the day. Of course, having seen that Energy need to put in some more practice. BVD are absolutely deathly. Not only I specifically mentioned hard points in my response, but Bravado are playing very, very clean Call of Duty at the moment. They're not only strategizing, but they can also counter strats halfway through an SAD because of all the VODs that are now available on the internet. So many more players streaming their POVs, so many more players, of course, well, so many more casters being able to cast games as well. There's so much information online if players are willing to go and do their homework and seeing, okay, which bomb site do they always push on this map? So BVD are very, very strong as a team. And of course, having the recent addition of both Scorpio and Cobs, I mean, Cobs now moves over from Energy, was one of the shining lights on Energy on the previous roster. Now move him over to BVD. BVD have just become this kind of aura of players that everyone's like, oh no, it becomes half of a mind game thing. But like, Energy are as talented, they just need to put a little bit of work in. White Rabbit do have the slaying power to be able to shut down Bravado. So that was my take on it, that when it comes to facing against Bravado, if you can shut them down in the HP and then potentially take that control as well, then potentially you might see a 4-1. But Bravado, once again, coming in with that S&D, being able to counter-strat and change their strategy halfway through. It's going to be an interesting one based off of that. But then, of course, you've also got Crypto, which like I mentioned, you've got a ton of newer players. Well, not necessarily new players, but young gunners faced off right against one another with the veterans like Eros, who has come back from back in the day almost. Because I mean, we get a new card every year. It's like card ages twice as fast as other esports, if I'm completely honest. Because I mean, then we're in jetpack era, then we come back to boots on the ground. But now this game has got like advanced movement because you can still slide, and the jumping is not like normal boots game. So it's going to come down to who's more prepared. Of course, Bravado are looking just at the fan votes. Bravado are the favorites to take this, but I honestly hope for everything in me as a caster, for storylines to be able to have an underdog or a team. Like, imagine White Rabbit come back and they take the entire thing and they were the least favorites in the fan vote, to be like, no, White Rabbit came out of the complete country mile and be like, hey guys, we're here, we've made a statement now, we've worked on what we've got to work with, and this is what's happened. Of course, you obviously want to see those storylines as a caster, and then that'll also upset the apple cart. I spoke about this on After Action Report. That is possible to upset an apple cart within the status quo of Call of Duty in South Africa, and that you don't always necessarily have to have BVD and Energy taking on one another in finals.
Who knows? We might be predicting exactly that going into the final, but for right now, I think we've got a showcase match in Crypto taking on Energy Esports. This is, of course, the first match of the day. It's the losers bracket semi-final if you're just joining us, and I wanted to take you guys essentially through the maps that we're going to be playing. Our first map is going to be none other than Gridlock Hardpoint. It should be an interesting one from my side. As far as Hardpoint goes, I think that this first one, if I can make a prediction, if I can be so brave, I'd probably say that this one's going to go in favor of Energy Esports as first up. Payload S&D, however, follows after that, as that is going to be our Search and Destroy, and that is the one where I think, you know, Crypto has what it takes. Control, we're going back to Gridlock once again, and then on Hardpoint, we're moving across to Arsenal, and I believe Arsenal's become one of your favorites, at least, Shani.
Well, the fact that we're already 4 maps in and there hasn't been more than one Arsenal mentioned, I'm really happy about it, because just if you follow my streams, usually I end up, because of vetoes and the way that those end up going, it does end up being a triple Arsenal threat. But thank goodness not the case. But tell us about map 5.
Map 5, guess what? I kept it on the screen. It is still Arsenal. Just by the way, Shani, you'll be seeing the players going into the lobby at the moment. They're just going to be doing a small lag test and making sure that we are ready to go from their side. So, yeah, we are just seconds away, ladies and gentlemen, from this being able to kick off. And it is Arsenal Search and Destroy going to be cleaning things up. Should we go to that map number 5? But before we do that, I want to find out, Shani,
Yes.
What are your predictions from this game right right now?
Oh gosh. So my honest prediction going into this, I hope that Energy have done their homework. They've gone back to the drawing board. They've sorted some issues out. Energy should be able to take this based off of if they do take that kind of homework to heart and that little bit of a 3-0 that they did have recently. But I want to see Crypto come back and fight this. So I'm hoping for a 3-1 in favor of Crypto.
Wow.
I am rooting for the underdog. So that is not so much a prediction in that what I'm hoping for, so that it changes the status quo. Realistically, though, however, given that Energy are such a power team, it's probably going to go a 3-1 in favor of Energy.
All right, so that Energy Esports, if I can throw my little 2 cents into it, I believe that if Crypto Gaming take map number 1, that Energy Esports are going to be kissing the life out of this tournament, and essentially maybe going to have another couple of seconds to order themselves a meal and watch the rest of the show. However, that being said, that's only if Crypto take map number 1. I think Energy Esports are the odds-on favorite to take this one. They are very strong when it comes down to Hardpoint Gridlock. I am now just awaiting the players' confirmation that they are happy and good to go. So I'm going to back out of the lobby, and this next one is for real, Shani. I'm so excited to get this one going. It's been so long since I've actually been able to commentate, and let alone I've been seeing you doing so much for the Call of Duty community at the moment, and I've just been like, wow, that is fantastic to see other people really step up and give a shout out to the community. And if I can, just take a step back and say well done to yourself, and well done to the people that are doing the work in the Call of Duty community. Keep it going. It's a community that we absolutely love from our side. I can't wait to shoutcast with you.
So, well, thank you so much. That's honestly like made my heart feel all warm and fuzzy. But off the back of that, Nick, we won't be able to cast if there's no tournament organizers organizing tournaments. So one hand washes the other. So I mean, without ACGL, cards today won't have much to play with during the week. Of course, you've got the 2v2s, you've got the 5v5s, you've got everything else in between. Of course, we're finding ourselves now today with the Debonairs series kicking off the final 4 games, potentially 5 if we do see an update, and then we have a double elimination. But I don't even want to go there yet. I don't want to even go there yet. Right now, it's going to be Energy Esports taking on Crypto, and I am beyond excited to be able to cast with someone who I've always referred to as the man with the golden voice. Given before I jumped into the casting realm, I was like, oh my gosh, Nick is always casting, yay! So now going to be a really interesting bit of a moment to actually get a chance to cast with you, Nick.
Yeah, really excited to get this one going. Can't wait. The teams are pretty much ready on their side of things, and it looks like all the matches, or everybody rather in the lobby, is good to go. And yep, it's about to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pushing the play button and we're jumping in with our very first match. It is going to be Crypto taking on Energy Esports. And ladies and gentlemen, we are crossing over to our very first map, which is Gridlock.
Gridlock. This is a very AHAR heavy map, given that you do have those very wide angles, especially with the first hill being right in the center of the map. A lot of area that you need to work with. But of course, you do have those very close quarter engagements, of course, moving over there to Shower's side, essentially through Sushi. But we're going to see some great Call of Duty action taking place here today. Of course, some of the best from South African Call of Duty now stage, as it were, as we are jumping in. I don't know, at 250 to maybe 160. So not too close, maybe, give or take.
Couple of big predictions coming there in the chat I'm seeing, but what we're going to do initially right here is I want to jump on board with Heroes. We're going to stay with him and see what they do off the break. Of course, when it comes down to the early stages, all about trying to control those rotations, and at the moment it looks like some gunfights happening in the middle of the map. We're going to get a couple of congested plays, and we're going to have to wait and see who's going to be able to come out on top of these early gunfights. Once again, I have to reiterate, this is Energy Esports map, in my opinion, to lose, but there's so much on the line. If my prediction remains true here, if they do lose this first map, I'm saying that Crypto are going to be able to take it. So much on the line on this first one. How do you see this one going ahead from your side, Chance?
Well, just to have a look at it straight off the back, of course, Crypto have started their run to that 250-point mark, but Heroes also starting out this first couple of kills with the team kill over Frosty as well. So that's going to unfortunately hinder a little bit of progress towards those specialists. Not by much, considering that it is hard points, but with 10 seconds left on the clock, they're moving over to the next. It does look to be like we will have players 5 and 9 taking a jab at one another, and of course, player 5, that was Levkov, will fall to the hands of Mickey by the looks of it, as he did manage to clear this out. Hill will go over in favor of Energy, as they should be able to take the lead off of here.
Very interesting in the early stages. Very, very interesting. It was Energy Esports that had the early rotations, not able to really hold the area, as we saw the lads from Crypto Gaming rolling out and coming out with some strong dominance in the space. But for right now, it has to be said, Crypto are really matching the Energy Esports lads when it comes down to controlling the rotations. However, the slaying power of Energy Esports is something that you always have to be concerned about. And at the moment, Flawless Wapple picks up 2.
He did manage to pick up a 2-piece there, but with 19 seconds left on the clock, you will see that Crypto are already on the rotation, but they've sent only one player with Lau following shortly behind. So we will unfortunately see... Oh no, Lau manages to pick up the second one. Does he get this? No, he does not get the second. Sorry, I got the first kill there. But we will see that that hill is pretty much going to go in favor of Crypto. If they can hold on to this now, they need to shut down any momentum that Energy are going to start driving themselves towards here. And as I say that, the Energy triangles come flooding on in, and they're going to be able to contest this hill with absolutely no break of a sweat almost, as we will see there now as they do get Crypto straight out of that hill.
So the Energy Esports team rolling in, trying to get the break, but right now it's going to be Mickey at tree side. He'll get eliminated, and just like that, it's going to be once again Crypto trying to restabilize themselves here. They are behind on points, 30 overall, and it's going to be a very, very fast and furious gunfight inside this middle courtyard. At the moment, just outside the bathroom, it looks like Zenko is going to be able to come up with a big play of his own, eliminating his opposite number and getting these countdown timers as he eliminates Waffle as well. So Zenko currently on fire with 10 seconds remaining on the hill. It's all about the rotations, and at the moment, Eros is in a really, really solid position. Ooh. Caster's curse, I'm sorry.
No, but you also have to take a look at Sharky. He does have a lightning strike in his back pocket. Of course, not going to be really useful on this hill considering how covered it is. But if you do wait for that next rotation over into next, it could potentially either mow down players on the rotation or keep the hill open so that there's no more time collected in from the side of Crypto. As we do see, unfortunately, Sharky does fall to a little bit of a melee there coming in from Levkov. Levkov got a lot to prove today, of course, coming off of a LAN recently that they did play very well off of as a pickup team. So now 72 to 67, now Crypto back in the lead, and they do have a solid hold on these last few couple of seconds of scrap time. A very difficult hill to break into given that there is so many angles that you can hold if you are set up. But as I say, that energy come and walk in as if this is nothing and that they own it.
Well, at the moment, it has to be said, Crypto Gaming pulling back on points, and these past two HPs have been absolutely crucial. Now, as we rotate once again, it is going to be the lads from, I believe that's Energy Esports, trying to push forward. I'm actually on board with Sharky at the moment, who's going to be watching the side corridor, making sure that nobody comes through the flank. But on hill at the moment is Levkov, and he should be able to come up with a cleanup kill inside as removes Mickey as well. Levkov on absolute form at the moment, as it looks like the Crypto Gaming team are looking unstoppable on this HP.
Just having a look at that as well, Nick. You have a look at those hexagons on the top there. We hear that lightning strike coming in there as well. But Levkov, sorry, not Levkov. Lau has his Tempest online, but on the side of Energy Esports, if you have a look at that as well, we have Heroes with his Grav Spike. Frosty not quite there for the Tempest just yet, but we will have Sharky getting closer and closer to that War Machine as well. So more or less even pacing based off of how they're progressing towards their specialists at the moment. Of course, specialists playing a very big role within Black Ops 4, having changed it up, changing play styles. And of course, we did see that Tag 5 coming in from the side of Crypto, now getting invested. The last one left standing with 175 should I rather say. And as I said, you know what, Commentator's Curse, it's gone now. No one has any extra HP there from that crash side. But 113 to 98, Crypto absolutely coming out guns blazing with a very good rotation onto that hold for this next.
I'm still on board with Heroes, who goes up. Will he come down with the grab slam? That's exactly what he does. Managed to pick up the kill there. Going to be rolling his way in, and this should be a good clear here from Energy Esports. There's some very big shots to get missed out from either side. However, it's going to be Zenko with the cleanup. The shots do get traded, and it's Sharky now. Still in the heel as they're going to be picking up the back half of this HP when it comes down to the points. Early rotations now looking to be the priority for Crypto, as both of these teams are pretty much inseparable as Energy Esports regains the lead. And now it's all about the courtyard, ladies and gentlemen. Who's going to be able to work their way in? I'm on board with Sharky. He has that War Machine. Will he decide to use it? No, he decides to keep that in his back pocket for now. So I jump on board with Inception. He's pretty much ready to go as they do secure, and now it's going to be the grenades flying out. Will he be able to come up with any shots? Just going to be picking up the flak jacket there from his opposite number. Turns around and Mickey, get turned on, son. As just like that, Crypto Gaming still doing well to hold in here. But on the other side of things, I believe it's Sharky with his War Machine to still play with.
No, we saw how Energy specifically left one of their players over to get those last couple of seconds of scrap time as they did rotate over to Showers. But having a look at this now, Crypto comes straight back in and they're now slightly against, once again in the lead. Of course, it does come down to the cents and coins basically right at the very end here, as it could potentially go either way still. Having a look at what specialists we do still have on to work with.
My gosh, at the moment, it's pretty much Energy Esports have a lot of options when it comes down to the utility of those specialists. And at the moment, not deciding to pull them out. So potentially saving this for one of the last heals. We'll have to wait and see as they move their way in. And this one still can swing anyway. But at the moment, it's going to be Frosty trying to work his way in. Unfortunately for him, will get taken out. The heal is going to be established, as well as spawns will be held by the Crypto Gaming team, who are now trying to build themselves a little bit of a separation between the two.
Crypto absolutely did their homework over Energy. Waffle picking up another two-piece. I mean, this man is absolutely on fire today. He was previously one of my favorite players to watch, given that he was the player to keep an eye on here from the Energy Esports side, as we do now see them man 23 and 15. Very, very big numbers as he manages to pick another one up there over Levkov as they try and claw their way back in here. Try and regain that lead, but with 13 seconds left on the clock here, no more streaks on any side, of course, but we are going to be moving back to this middle of the map as we will see everyone trying to flood in here. We did unfortunately have Sharky trying to hold out that little bit of a rotation kills, but unfortunately does fall. Levkov does have that extra attack 5 in his back pocket. Could potentially use that to try and regain kill here, as we do hear that war machine. Oh no, Sharky!
Oh wow! Just like that, Sharky will find themselves on the back foot of that gravity slam. However, it is both of these teams going head-to-head at the last here. Shani, game number 1 has been frantic, and I can't wait to see who's going to be able to take this one. Still, can really go either way. If we take a look at what is available, we still got Waffle. Oh, it looks like Waffle's having a little bit of a connection problem. Maybe just waffling there with his line. I'm not too sure what is up on his side. However, on the other side, Heroes is ready to step up to the challenge. Quite close to that gravity slam, as they're going to defend this HP. It's Energy Esports trying to claw their way back in. I'm not too sure where Waffle is. Okay, no, he's back in the action, and will be able to get some vision control here for his team. It looks like early rotations have gone in favor of the lads from Crypto Gaming. However, the Energy Esports team are coming up big on your bottom left-hand corner of your screen.
That's precisely what's happened here now, as we can see. Unfortunately, Waffle not able to get that turn on there. Levkov managing to take him out there with the Maddox. As 50 seconds left on this hill. Energy can clear this out here now. Unfortunately, Frosty, only one left with that extra attack 5, does start getting that shots from the side coming in there. Crypto do try to make a little bit of frank.
Wow.
Frosty, unfortunately, unable to clear that hill out, but well, that push out, should I rather say, as 25 seconds left on the clock that they just need to earn. It is seeming very, very close. I'm not.
They need a coordinated push.
Out just yet, as we do have Inception, should manage to get his war machine online now. He is going to frantically, man is 2 HP.
No!
Oh no, that is going to be a waste of a war machine, unfortunately, right at the very end. Not sure why he didn't regain there. 10 seconds left here now, as we will be rotating over to Showers. We will have players 7 picking up those last couple of seconds of scrap time, which will push them so close to 250.
Yeah, it looks like early rotations now have gone over to Crypto Gaming, who are trying their best to come up with a hold. They are behind essentially 50 points. This hill will do it for them, should it remain uncontested. However, they are going to fight tooth and nail, hold for every second that they can get, and it's all coming out red at the moment on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Will Energy Esports be able to gather themselves here for an ignited push? You can see all of them coming off a spawn on the map. I'm not too sure which way this can go, as Flawless Waffle will be one of the players trying to lead the charge with Frosty. Frosty will get the trade on kills. No, he will get eliminated just as Lau comes up big. It is 25 points as it's the Crypto trying to come back strong here. 25 seconds still left on the clock. Will they have enough? Energy Esports have not really contested it, so it still can swing either way at this point. Shawnee, we are being treated to a hold here from Crypto Gaming that just won't stop. At the moment, it is the player number 2, Lord Lau, that I want to take a look at. He's going to give it a call out in mid. 8 seconds left on the clock. Will this go over to Crypto Gaming? They're only 3 seconds away. It is Energy Esports that push in just at the last second to deny the heal. And just like that, they need one more point. Will the lad from Crypto be able to walk their way in to get it? Yes, they do! Yes, they do! Crypto come up and take map number 1, Shawnee, against the Energy Esports team that probably went in as favorites.
250 to 245, Nick. I didn't even see it coming that close down there. Absolutely insane last hold there from Crypto, as they just shut down every single Energy player that was trying to make their way into that hill and proved absolutely dominant on this first HP.
Inception take a bow, picking up 36 and 25 with 18 OBJ kills. Wow, 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 what a treat to start things off. I need to catch my breath for just a second as we get set up for the next match. Wow, Crypto Gaming, Shawnee, I can't say that that's expected, but I'm so glad we asked for a show and they gave it to us.
You know, we asked for a show. I specifically said, can we please upset the little bit of a status quo coming into COD/ZA? Can we at least have someone else try and have a little bit of an upset? We do have Energy coming off of that loss from the previous series that they did play as well. So now 250 to 245 first hard points. What you want to do is energy now. Of course, they are a very S&D strong team. They're going to want to regain. Moving into this payload map, they are going to want to regain. It's kind of the same as how we always say COD players need to have goldfish memory. Of course, if you've just come off of a round or a map win, you need to keep that momentum going. But of course, if you are the losing side, you do need to forget about it, pull yourself towards yourself, and be able to set this next charge going into this S&D. Of course, it is going to be on payload, not necessarily the most favored or most frequently played, especially if there's vetoes involved. Of course, no, ACGL do have a little bit of a different way where there's random map generation, so we do not see triple Arsenal coming into play really as much. But
I love it.
Absolutely. It gives those other maps that aren't necessarily the most popular to get some time in the sun, but that doesn't take anything away from payload. Payload, two very specific bomb sites, two very different sets of strats that you can approach this with. So I do see the players are going to be switching hosts now. Of course, that is the joy of playing online COD, is that they are going to switch to and fro as we wait to go into this next S&D. Well, this first S&D, should I rather say.
I'm basically out of breath, and it's map number 1, Shawnee. I don't know if this is good for my health. I just don't know anymore. But hey, I'm going to stay with my prediction. I said if Crypto Gaming can take the map number 1, that they are going to be the odds-on favorite. And now as we move across, we are going to be, like you said at least, be playing some payload on Search and Destroy. Now, payload, when it comes down to this map, I haven't watched too much action when it comes down to the competitive sides and how our teams like to handle it, but you gotta feel that there's gonna be a lot of fight for that mid-map with the close quarter gunfights, and I just can't wait to see who's gonna be able to come out on top of those ones. Is there a team that you're leaning forward when it comes down to payload, search, and destroy?
So I haven't actually seen Crypto play it too much, specifically not just on this map, but S&D in general. I have seen more energy plays, and I have seen energy start mounting a comeback on the control round previously. Now, I know control isn't S&D, but control does still have those little bit of aspects coming in from strat. So same comments earlier about if energy were able to do their homework, and as Heroes himself said, they're hungry to show that they belong at the top. This is the time to start that, showing that. Now, of course, it is an age-old saying in Call of Duty competitive that S&D wins championships. Of course, when you've got a prize pool on the line like we do today, you're going to have to start showing up here now. You don't want to go 2-0 down in a series and then have to be forced to mount that reverse sweep. Of course, energy as an organization have done that in the past, not necessarily with this full roster, but they have done it, and they were previously known as the Comeback Kings. So we're going to just have to keep an eye here now. Payload, a very interesting map. We might potentially see more pushes going to Heaven side, as we will to that mid-map. But then again, same breath being said, you've got that kind of peak there by the catwalk that can be lifted up and down. You're going to have some interesting gameplay coming in here, not only from your subs, but of course your ARs for those very, very long-range engagements that they can find themselves in. You sit yourself up in window there in the center of the map, in the middle of the map. You're pretty much sorted if you can mow down those players going to try and be pushing through. So it's going to come down to who's done their homework, who's able to kind of change their strategy coming in halfway through the map. But I do want to say that I want to see this, of course, at least go to a game 4. So I do want to have energy come back here in the S&D. But if Crypto carry on playing and they had every single answer to anything energy threw at them, it could potentially go Crypto's way. They have said that they've been playing well against BVD recently. BVD currently arguably the best team in the country to be scrimming against, at least. So maybe the homework from the side of Crypto is paying off and they're able to shut energy down. But I hope that's not the case. I do hope we go to around 11.
I'm hoping for around 11, but I don't think my heart can do it anymore. I mean, at the moment, when it comes down to these two teams, I've seen so much of Energy Esports when it comes down to the S&D. Crypto, essentially, to me at this point, there's nothing that I can essentially pull from to actually say that they've got what it takes to be able to win the Search and Destroy. That being said, this is not necessarily the Energy Esports that I've been inclined to love. Yeah, exactly. And that's concerning for me. I mean, they've got, looking at their roster, they've got one of the most stacked rosters in South Africa. I think when it comes down to the mode that can bring a little bit of stabilization back to your team and a little bit of regrouping, I think that is Search and Destroy. However, Payload. I'm not too sure if this is one of the favorite maps of Energy Esports. I think it was one of the main picks when it came down to Crypto. And at the moment, Crypto, the ball is in your court, gentlemen. We'll have to wait and see, as we're just waiting on the players to get ready at the moment.
So,
on our side of things, Shani, yeah,
to
go
give
ahead.
you just a last final while we do load in here, just to give you some last final, given that you don't really have much to pull from there from Crypto. I cast the BVD Crypto bracket game last week, right? Which the second game was played on Payload. Now BVD did take it 6-4. But what's interesting, in rounds 8 and 9, Crypto took 2 back-to-back maps. Of course, that is off of Bravado Gaming. Now, Bravado only needed to secure one more round win to take that 6-4 over Crypto. But given that they managed to go 6-4 on Payload against Bravado, could we see the same scoreline here, but potentially go in their favor? I don't know. It comes once again down to, I'm going to be referring to that homework time and time again, given that Energy said, we're hungry to show that we're at the top. Well, did you put in the hours? Previously, you were telling me you hadn't practiced. You can't come into a game and expect to only win that off of talent.
100%. Talent alone not going to do it for you, especially when it comes down to Search and Destroy. And let's jump on board with the attacking team. Anybody specifically that you want to have a look at, Shani?
Well, that they are on the attacking at the moment. I am going to have to say that I want to see Lau is pushed very far forward. He does have that Maddox in hand, so of course does have that little bit of a hybrid AR. We'll see Catwalk getting dropped here as well, as we do stay on board here with, not sure if I know you're driving stream, so potentially not watching, but we will see Zenko pick up that first blood, as it is going to get quickly contested there.
Well, Lau's now just found himself into a gunfight at the moment, and will be going for the flank, it seems. So Energy Esports immediately being pushed off the bomb side, thanks to some smart play here from Lau, who's going to have to pull a player or two towards his attention, his side, and he knows that will give a little bit of room for his teammates to work forward. Just like that, he will eliminate one. We are down to a 3-2 situation in this first round of Search and Destroy. Lau doing some great work, and essentially just being in a thorn in the side of Energy Esports as the bomb does get planted.
Precisely, but just having a look there now, Waffle on the opposing there from that gunfight over Lau does have the ICR in hand. Now, Flawless Waffle, last one left standing for his team. He will manage to see the crosshair coming in from Eros. Manages to tag, unfortunately, Levkov up, but Levkov's not having anything of it, as we will see Crypto take round 1.
Yeah, round number 1 going in favor of Crypto Gaming, who are using that momentum. Essentially, they build from that HP. And my MVP for that round, I will have to say, is Lau. I like the way that he really established himself, getting around the side and just pulling the Energy Esports attention, allowing his teammates to pick up that bomb plant. However, on the Energy Esports side of things, I really want to jump on board with Sharky and see what he's going to be able to do. I believe he's got that Sorg in hand, so expect some close, confined battles from him.
For sure, as we will see a very strong A push coming in here from all of Energy, as they do only have player 4 Lau all the way on B side, as he's potentially going to start rotating through now, as his teammates will let him know about that information. They do manage to get trades coming in there as that kill feed goes red, as unfortunately we will have a 2v3 situation here. Now Energy are sitting in a pretty predicament. See that Frosty is going to be rotating through, going to potentially meet. Oh, look at that timing. If they had just met at a different second, that would have been Eros against Frosty, but it does not seem to be that way. Eros is checking heaven, is going to rotate through, as we will see players 8 and 5 now breathing practically the same air.
Absolutely, and oh, there we go. Just like that, he will get eliminated. So Eros and Levkov make that Eros 1v1 mano e mano. It is going to be Sharky taking on Eros, and let's see, will the veteran in Eros be able to take out the Shark?
Something going in favor of Energy though is Bomb was right by Sharky, so we will see the plant go in here now. Extra seconds will be put on the clock here as the Bomb will go down at A, and I think it's taken very long for Eros to rotate through now, of course getting that information of exactly where Energy could potentially be, but maybe leaving it just a little bit too long, knowing that Bomb's going to be down on the other side of the map. But hey, I'm not in the situation here at the moment. You do say that he's got a ton of experience under his belt, as we will see him checking all the corners here now. Does he manage to pick up the
spots out Sharky?
Reminder, Sharky does, okay, no, he has managed to pick up himself up a Maddox. He did start the run off with the Sorg, so he will be able to get some information there. 14 seconds left though, not going to be looking like it's going to go their favor. Sharky managing to get that round.
Wow, wow, wow. That's a little bit disappointing from Ethan's side. I think what he did is he went towards the bomb, he pushed reload, and felt like that crucial second wasn't enough. So he pushed him again, and this time it was the man himself coming up big, and it's gonna be Crypto's game essentially to potentially lose here as things are tied up 1 apiece. Once again, we're gonna jump on board with the attacking team, and this time I think I want to go on board with Inception, who had that massive HP earlier, and at the moment looks like an A push is what they're considering.
Will be that A push coming in there as we will see Inception, but once again, just having a quick conversation about Specialist. Given that Sharky was longest left alive, yes, Levkov is closer to that TAC 5, but Sharky is more slowly working his way towards that War Machine as well. So something to keep in mind there as we will see Energy manages to pick up those first 2 kills. Oh my goodness, Bomb has also gone down. It's going to be down to the remaining 2 members there from the side of Crypto to try and clutch this up against the full mode there from Energy. But Levkov now last left alive, potentially could decide to throw him off the map as he does not want to feed streaks nor Specialist time.
Yeah, absolutely, as he decides, you know, toodaloo, and he jumps himself off the map, and that's going to be 2-1 as Energy Esports now try to separate themselves from the competition and trying to pick up this very, very crucial map of Search and Destroy. Waffle coming up with some big plays in the middle as we see him picking off Zenko there and trying to do some damage on the opposite side. So we haven't seen too many plays actually being made towards that B bomb side. Actually, 0 at this point. It's all happening around A. And now will Energy Esports, with a little bit of a round buffer or cushion, decide to mix things up? We'll have to wait and see.
Nope, they're going A. That's all they're doing. We want to go A, we're going to push A, we're going to get to that first bit of engagement. Of course, Inception will be the one to meet that little bit of a first push here, as we will see player 5 as well, Levkov, shooting there from the far range. We will have Inception, unfortunately, fall to Frosty, but we will also have an engagement here. Levkov just watching over this top area, does manage to tag up heroes, not turning into anything.
Wow.
And Frosty with the 2-piece.
Frosty coming up with some big plays. I managed to actually just catch that on stream just in seconds as he came up and essentially eliminated one. Make that his 3rd kill of the round. Frosty is an absolute beast, trying to take out the play on the side, and there we go. This is the Energy Esports that we know, Shani, doubling their lead, and now 3-1 in favor of Energy Esports.
This is what you like to see, of course, if you're a side of Energy. Frosty absolutely showing up, getting so many kills that round. Did pick up the 2-piece, and then, of course, getting the melee in as well. Just a little bit cheeky just to say, yeah, hi, I am still here. I still got it. So, like you said, this is the Energy that we're used to seeing perform. This momentum, that's 3 rounds in a row for them. Can Crypto, of course, Crypto now back on the attack. Can they turn this into a 3-2 situation?
Yeah, well, Levkov and Eros, the only 2 players in the positive at the moment for their. It's like another A push is going to be lined up as 3 players from Energy Esports are going to be pushing towards that B. So Crypto, unless they make a move early here, they're going to need to keep an eye on their flank, as it's Energy Esports who are going to back up a little bit. Lord Lau is going to try chase him down, but with a Sorg over long range engagement, that's really not going to go in his favor at this point. Decides to double back and will watch his teammate get taken out as he moves his way towards mid. Will be able to pick up the elimination here. We are down to 4 apiece for either one of these teams. Really can go either way, but the bomb is in his back pocket. Will he decide to go for the plant? That looks like exactly what's going to happen. Levkov now in this interesting situation as he will get taken out from behind. Inception has heroes down the line. Will he decide to go for the... Oh, yeah, he just comes out on top of that one. And now we are faced in a 2v3 situation as Energy Esports close down on Crypto Gaming.
We do also see now 1 person left standing. That will be Lau. Never mind, Lau's not up anymore. This is going to be an Energy round once again. Very, very swift gameplay coming in there. And nice teamwork. I also do want to comment on how Energy are playing together as a solid unit.
745, that bomb code. But yes, playing as a unit really well as this Energy Esports team. They're looking a little bit refreshed at the moment when it comes down to Search and Destroy. And like you said, when they moved, once they got those rotations, they went together, they got those trades when needed, they picked up, and it's very much textbook Search and Destroy play from the Energy Esports. And I'd like to say a big shout out to the stream, everybody that is tuning in. We managed to cross over the 100 viewer mark, which is always fantastic to see for the local Call of Duty community. Welcome one and welcome all. But going into this next one, Shawnee, Crypto Gaming are pressed up against the wall at the moment, and I'm not too sure what's going to be needed of them when it comes down to trying to take on these Energy Esports lad that looks so refreshed when it comes down to Surge.
They don't even have anything to work with in terms of specialists. And you look on the side of Energy, those hexagons are filling hella quick. You got Sharky so close to War Machine now. I've commented on here how he was the closest right in the very beginning from that second round. We will see him getting taken out there now. So the comments about War Machine potentially coming into this round, I'm not even going to bother making it. Frosty, however, does slowly see himself working towards that Tempest. Now only 2 left alive for his team. This could be the regain that Crypto needs to take another round. But with 50 seconds left on the clock here, we will see Bomb rotating all the way back of your Energy. Not a great place to be sitting, considering that you do have all of the Crypto triangles watching your every move and going to be able to watch all of those crosses that you're going to potentially be making over to the B side.
And there we go, jumps off the map and says, I'm out of here, as Waffle will decide to essentially fall wayside to give Crypto Gaming essentially doubling the score that they had from 1 to 2. And we get to watch a little bit of a treat here from Zenko.
Yeah, no, you absolutely hate to see it when it comes down to just having your back pressed up against a wall and you decide to rather not feed streaks, which is why a player will willingly give up a round. Of course, also, they do have an extra 2-round lead at the moment over Crypto, but with Crypto back on the defense now, could they potentially be... Oh, look, we do have Bomb going mid. Could they potentially be going B? Do they go Heaven side? We will see Eros very high pushed up here. Is going to be starting to check that Heaven side. We haven't really seen a mix-up of Bomb pushes, and it's been AAA the entire time, as we will see player 4, that of course is Lord Lau, going to be sitting opposing opposite from player 7. That will be Mickey, who will be coming into it. Oh no, Mickey's turned around. Oh, Mickey's turned around. This could come down to a little bit of timing, as he's turned back around. He is going to be able to check that little bit of a corner. This is going to be timing. Ooh. Who picks up this first kill?
Oh, the concussion will get thrown out. Who's going to be able to come out on top of this trade as 1-4-1? Looks like neither team really does come out on top. However, it is going to be the Crypto Gaming boys that get stuck inside mid. And at the moment, he's going to be able to come up with one big shot there on Sharky, as Lord Lau has been looking fantastic, but only 25 seconds left on the clock. It is 3-2 in favor of Crypto Gaming.
Oh my goodness, more than enough time, of course, to get that bomb down. 3-2, they are able to pull this off. We do also see Lord Lau getting that Tempest online now, as we will have Frosty still yet to earn it, only a fraction of a second away from the Tempest. So not going to see potentially Specialists getting invested now, but it should be a very fire round 8 potentially. As we never mind, Frosty's going to get that Tempest now, as he will manage to pick up the 2-piece, and now with one player left standing, that will be Levkov. Unfortunately, Frosty will fall to the hands of the man of the hour, basically, as now he does get shot in the back, but with only fractions of seconds, only 7.5 seconds needed to defuse. Running past Bomb there with 8 seconds to go. Looking to be a very swift round there for Crypto.
Really fantastic play there from the Crypto Gaming nerds, and especially Levkov coming up on top of that one. We thought Frosty was going to come up massive, as he came up behind one of the players right here and then picked up his second shortly after. That was Eros that got surprised by the Frosts. And got to be said, Levkov really did play that well. He was in a 2v1 situation, knew that he just needed to pick off the one to keep the pressure on, especially when it comes down to the top bomb side there on B. You can really just peek that from either below or on a ramp, but for right now, it is going to be what looks to be another push towards the B site. And actually, no, this is an A push. I do apologize, as it is Energy Esports surrounding the area. It is going to be Lau who picks up the first kill on Frosty.
Oh goodness, do we see Crypto now? Do we have them come back with a 3rd round in a row? Now, they do, of course, have the TAC 5 in their favor, but they also have the body, the bodies on the map, where they do have 5-4 now. Frosty, unfortunately, with that Tempest having been earned in the previous round, has been shut down. Sharky does have that War Machine that he could potentially pull out, but 40 seconds left on the clock here. We will have Energy slowly trying to make their way towards this B side.
At the moment, it's got to be another gunfight here on top, as Zenko, with his boosted health, every one of those players, of course, thanks to Levkov, Once again, popping that specialist as he makes it 8 and 4 at the moment. The man's an absolute machine. However, on the other side of things, Heroes, I did not see this a little bit earlier. He's got the sniper rifle out. He's also got gravity slam. Should he decide to use it? No, he decides to whip out the pistol, as now we are in a 2v2 situation. Bomb looks to get planted down. It's not going to be enough, as it's going to be Heroes trying to work his way forward. They pull their way back, and it's not going to be enough time on the clock, as just like that, Crypto Gaming, I doubted them for a little bit. I did. I'm going to raise my hand. I doubted them for a little bit, and they're coming up on top. At least we get to see some good sniper play from Heroes, but it is all Crypto Gaming as they win themselves 3 rounds in a row to come back into this one.
So here's what I like, right? We're going into round 9. We've got a ton of specialists to work with now, of course, where everyone's going to be back online, back alive once again. What I love is how Crypto have slowly started to break their way in. They did get that first round, and then Energy came back with a swift 4 rounds back to back. Now that lead that Energy has is gone. And you've got Lau with, we do have Lau with that Tempest, but then on the side of Energy Esports, they have everything in the kitchen sink to throw at these Crypto boys.
So at the moment, 4-4. Scores are tied up. And it is going to be another seemingly push for this A-bomb site, as the first player to get eliminated is none other than Zenko. He's been having a tough time, as well as Inception. Both players still negative in their side of things. However, we are in a 5v3 situation in favor of Energy Esports, and now this is where they start to clear things up. Levkov and Eros. Will they be able to come up with the plays? At the moment, Levkov has a little bit of support in Eros, but all 5 players from Energy Esports all now get the call to rotate, as the bomb does get planted. Will Eros and Levkov be able to pick this one up? We'll have to wait and see. Eros should spot the players down the line. Here's the call out to come up with the shots. Comes up with one. Not going to be able to clean up the second, as it looks like Eros is left all alone. As this should be a simple defuse. I think Frosty's on the bomb side at the moment, as that one will tick down. Eros, unfortunately, not going to be able to come out in time to, I think, come up with the defuse. And it's going to be Energy Esports picking up the round here and separating themselves just by a little bit. They're now 1 round away from taking this search and destroy.
No. Gosh. That's not the round I expected to see. You do love to see it, but then you do have Eros trying to challenge potentially a 3-man. Of course, he doesn't have the insight that we do into the X-ray, but coming to try and push their right at the very end, not knowing that knowing full well that you wouldn't have had enough time to try and defuse right at the very end. Fortunately, you do hate to see it, and now he will find himself sitting straight back in the swing of things, as all of the specialists still online there, as we do see Mickey and Waffle working their way towards specialists of their own. But we do have a game on our hands here, as Energy could potentially walk away with the first map win of the series for them.
Absolutely. So they're going to push their way towards B, changing things up at the last, and I like this change of pace and change of players. They push their way forward. Wow, Loud gets his way out of there with a slither of health, as just like that, 2 players in quick succession will get taken down from Energy Esports. It's now going to be